I'm still, after all the fights you've had, in awe of the fact that you do what you do. It's mind-blowing to me.
Thank you, man. Yeah. I mean, it's not that hard to get your beat, but it was a great experience. Like, I learned a lot in there. I can't really talk.
When this fight was first announced, you had said something to the effect of this would end Jake Paul's career. After what you saw tonight, do you think that Jake should continue to box, or what do you think the future holds for him?
Yeah, no, I really take my hat off. I mean, we have to see if it is a broken jaw. Those injuries are very difficult to come back from. But as AJ said, like that last shot would have knocked out a lot of heavyweights.
Jake Paul reportedly announced his retirement from boxing after a devastating sixth-round knockout loss to former heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua in Miami, a fight that left him with a double jaw fracture requiring surgery. Entering as a crossover star seeking legitimacy, Paul saw his future questioned when Joshua's powerful right hand abruptly ended the bout.
I won 2 rounds
For sure.
and then he won 2, and then I got dropped. But yeah, I was doing good. I just think my cardio, just the mental pressure of the big guy and sparring the big people is different than the 10-ounce gloves. So I was feeling his power a lot more. But it was a great experience. Like, I learned a lot in there. I can't really talk.
Are you in pain?
Yeah, but
Does it hurt
it's not from like talking.
Talk to me about what your jaw feels like, because you got
It's like a baseball in there.
two
And then
plates,
It just feels like
4 titanium plates.
4 titanium plates. How many do you have?
Just 1.
8 screws. 8 screws.
Wait, all right, I got plate in my head, titanium rod in my hand.
Jake Paul has reportedly suggested that he is worn down by the punishment he has absorbed in the ring and is now considering retirement following his brutal knockout loss. The fight, which saw him dropped multiple times and suffer a double jaw fracture requiring surgery, has intensified doubts about his future after enduring sustained damage from one of boxing's most accomplished heavyweights.
I'm retiring from boxing. I'm getting hit in the fucking face every single day while I could be playing soccer in Saudi. I'm friends with the Saudis slash football.
Back in the day?
I was on the A team in 7th grade. I have a really good kick. I can run fast, and I'll knock out everyone that with us.
Yeah.
Please give me $1 billion.
And I approve this message.
Meanwhile, Eddie Hearn stood by his earlier prediction but adopted a more somber tone after the fight. Reflecting on his comment that this bout could end Jake Paul's career, Hearn said the outcome unfortunately proved his point. He explained that injuries such as a broken jaw are not only painful but mentally and physically exhausting to overcome, especially for a fighter still developing at the elite level. Time away from sparring, fear of re-injury, and the loss of timing and rhythm, he noted, can permanently alter a boxer's career path. While acknowledging Jake's toughness and willingness to compete, Hearn emphasized that boxing is unforgiving, and moments like this often force fighters to confront whether the risk is truly worth the reward.
Eddie, I want to follow with you because when this fight was first announced, you had said something to the effect of this would end Jake Paul's career. After what you saw tonight, do you think that Jake should continue to box, or what do you think the future holds for him?
Yeah, no, I really take my hat off. I mean, we have to see if it is a broken jaw. Those injuries are very difficult to come back from. But as AJ said, like that last shot would have knocked out a lot of heavyweights. And I know he went down heavy, but you know he was conscious on the floor. And I thought his game plan, although obviously very negative early on, which it had to be, was smart at times. And there were times where he held his feet and let his hands go. You know, it was a very one-sided fight. It was always going to be a one-sided fight. But you can't give him anything but credit and respect. There's a lot of negative people out there. There's a lot of people who want to criticize people. They're not doing what Jake Paul's done. He just went in with Anthony Joshua and gave it his best shot. Took a lot of punishment and ended the fight eventually on his feet.
UFC commentator and podcaster Joe Rogan delivered a serious, cautionary response after Jake Paul was knocked out by Anthony Joshua and suffered a double jaw fracture, urging the influencer-turned-boxer to carefully consider the long-term consequences of continuing his boxing career. Rogan stressed that the punishment Paul absorbed, particularly the clean, heavy shots from a seasoned heavyweight like Joshua, comes with risks that extend far beyond immediate injuries. He warned that there is often a hidden price fighters pay, one that many struggle with long after their careers are over, including severe physical and neurological effects. Rogan described the knockout punch as carrying the impact of 10 blows at once, illustrating how rapidly damage can accumulate inside the ring. His message went beyond a single fight, serving as a broader warning that sustained punishment at the highest level can leave lasting scars, and that Paul must seriously weigh whether continuing is worth the risk.
Look, that guy did great for someone who's been boxing for like less than a decade. He has had no real professional opponents other than Tommy Fury that were legitimate world-class boxers.
I don't even remember what happened in the Tommy.
He lost a close decision, but it was a good fight. It was a good fight, though. He's a good boxer. If he wasn't a YouTuber, people would be way more impressed with him.
Yeah.
The problem is he was like a famous kid, and then no one took him seriously.
Yeah.
But
and then he started too with like more spectacle-ish fights. People were like, "Oh, this is you." He fought, Nate Robinson, like a basketball player.
But the thing is, he knocked Nate Robinson
He knocked him
dead.
the fuck out.
And it's the way he did it that I was trying to tell people. I'm like, no. That was skillful.
Paul has also reportedly claimed he is considering a cycle of steroids to silence long-standing accusations that he has already used performance-enhancing drugs. According to online speculation and secondhand accounts, he suggested that visibly altering his physique would prove his past performances were achieved naturally. Critics call the idea reckless and inflammatory, while supporters see it as pushback against years of scrutiny over his physical transformation and power. Given boxing's strict anti-doping rules and severe penalties for PED use, many observers urge caution, noting the claim remains unverified until Paul addresses it directly on the record. The allegation adds another layer of controversy to an already volatile moment in his career.
Jake said that I snort that I'm a cokehead. My rebuttal to that was, I'll tell you what, you can test me randomly for the next 5 years for if I can test you randomly for performance-enhancing the next 2 years, and I never got a response on that.
This is why Jake Paul is on PEDs. Within this past year, Jake Paul has literally hit a second puberty and aged like 10 years. Furthermore, he has acne and his hairline is receding like crazy. And people like Jake Paul are going to the best skin doctors in the world and probably are taking hair loss products that aren't even approved for the rest of us. Now, I'm not saying that Jake Paul necessarily took a steroid to make him look bigger, but he's definitely taking something that allows him to recover faster. That way he's able to train more and get better at boxing quickly.
UFC legend Anderson Silva publicly came to Jake Paul's defense following his high-profile fight with Anthony Joshua, urging critics to acknowledge the courage it took to step into the ring with such a formidable opponent. Silva noted that Paul has shown a willingness to pursue real challenges rather than carefully padded matchups, emphasizing that facing a former heavyweight world champion alone warrants respect. According to Silva, critics can no longer argue that Paul avoided elite competition after accepting a fight of Joshua's caliber, regardless of the outcome.